So how the hell do you follow up a really popular video about Fallout New Vegas? Well, with some really unpopular opinions about Fallout New Vegas. Come Fly With Me is one of, if not the worst quest in the entirety of this game. Normally, this wouldn't be the kind of thing that's worth its own video. You know, quest bad. If I made videos on every bad quest in Bethesda games, I'd fucking die from sheer exhaustion. But what made me want to make a video on this one is the opinions I've seen about this quest. In one of my previous videos, I made a comment about hating Come Fly With Me. Fun fact, Come Fly With Me was the first quest made for Fallout New Vegas, and most of everyone at Obsidian had no idea what they were doing. And it shows, because this quest fucking sucks. Even though it was 2 sentences out of a 20-minute video, one commenter felt the need to write half a paragraph about how much they hate this quest. There are some strong opinions about it. There's also a poll that It's Jabbo did where he asked what people's favorite quests are, and Come Fly With Me won with 44% of the vote. 44 motherfucking percent. That's almost a majority with 4 other options. Another thing I did is go on the Fallout Network Discord and do a quick search for Come Fly With Me to sort of gauge what people think of it independently. And about half of the messages said, "Wow, Come Fly With Me is so cool," and the other half said, "I fucking hate Come Fly With Me." There's a lot of polarized opinions on this quest. So today, we're going to take a look at Come Fly With Me and try to figure out why it's so hated and loved. Come Fly With Me is a side quest that is basically a main quest if you're a new player. If you go with the route that the game wants you to go in, you're gonna be doing Come Fly With Me. That makes it sort of unique, as it's one of only a few side quests that basically 100% of New Vegas players have done. Anyways, once you get the quest, you have to make your way to the REPCONN test site. You fight your way past some ghouls, then, once you make it into REPCONN, that's where the pain starts. The inside of the facility is a labyrinth that can be very difficult to navigate. But hey, at least the local map can help you. Just kidding, the local map doesn't fucking help at all. Anyways, once you speak to Jason Bright, he sends you to the basement to get rid of a group of Nightkin led by Davison. You can either help them by finding the Stealth Boy shipment they came there for, or kill them. However, the room the Stealth Boy shipment is in is blocked by a ghoul named Harland that was abandoned down there, and he won't let you examine the room for Stealth Boys. And he wants you to find his friend who got lost in the basement. Or you could just kill him too. But finding the friend, who is dead, can also piss off the Nightkin if they catch you. So with both of these characters that you can either help or kill, you have 2 choices in tandem that affect each other, which is really cool and highlights the emphasis on player choice that Fallout New Vegas is so known for. But these cool choices are undercut by the basement also being a confusing labyrinth to navigate through, which instead of making this a cool fun choice, makes it annoying and tedious, especially if you choose to help the characters instead of kill them. And that makes the choice less of a choice, because especially on repeated playthroughs, you might be more inclined to kill the characters instead of going through the quest's bullshit, regardless if that's the choice you actually want to make. Next, you go back up to talk to Jason, then go back down to another area in the basement to talk to him again for some reason. Then, you're tasked by Chris Haversam with gathering parts for the rockets. This is the part where the quest turns into an annoying long-ass fetch quest on top of the bad first part of the quest. First, you must get the igniting agent for the rockets, which sends you to Clark Field outside Novac, which is heavily irradiated and filled with golden geckos. Or, you can do it the faster way, by giving him rocket toys that are apparently filled with the igniting agent. Yes, really. Aside from that being really fucking dumb, It's also literally never communicated to the player. The most you can find out about the rocket souvenirs before this moment is that they're filled with radioactive material, like basically everything else in the Fallout universe. I guess the rockets are in the REPCONN facility, so you could make an educated guess that they're important, but still, no one would ever figure this out. This moment is point-and-click adventure levels of bad quest solutions. Anyways, once you get those, you have to return to the basement again. Though this makes it so there's a lot of back and forth, having to return to the basement over and over again. It's made slightly less annoying by there being a hatch leading outside. Just kidding, it's still really fucking annoying. Then, you talk to Chris Haversam again, who tells you to get the thrust control module for the rockets. This takes you to Gibson's scrapyard, where you have to get the part from Old Lady Gibson. And without any speech skill or perks or stealing, you have to pay 500 caps for it. Money that you will never get back. Then you go back to the basement for a fourth time. Then finally, after all that fetching, the final step is to go up to the top of the facility again and launch the rockets, or sabotage them with the control panel, undoing all of your work. Then there's the launch sequence, which puts an end to this fucking annoying quest. Now, during that description, I was mainly focusing on the gameplay parts of the quest, and I didn't go much into the characters and the writing. And that was on purpose, because the writing of this quest is the one saving grace of it. The plot of getting this kooky cult of ghouls into space using these cartoonish looking rockets is fucking amazing, and perfectly embodies the silly side of Fallout. Then there's also the character of Chris Haversam, who thinks he's a ghoul because he's going bald, which is hilarious. And his character adds another element of player choice, as you can make him realize that he's not actually a ghoul, which will make him hell-bent on sabotaging the rockets, and you can either let that happen or talk him down from doing it. There's also the character of Davison, whose craziness adds a really interesting dynamic to the choices in the basement part of the quest. And those choices are really cool and interesting in a way that few other choices in New Vegas are. Through and through, this quest has some of the best writing and characters in any quest in Fallout New Vegas. However, it's ruined by the drawn-out tedium of the rest of the quest. The back-and-forth fetch quests, confusing layout, overall bad design, and extreme length combine to make, in my opinion, the worst quest in New Vegas when basing solely on gameplay. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that, but this is one of the longest quests in the game, which just rubs salt into the wound of how horrible it is. In conclusion, I'm not going to outright call it the worst quest in the game, because I think that the choices that it gives you and the story it tells is enough to discount it from that. However, in terms of quests that I actually want to play, this one is at the very bottom of the list. So why, despite all of these issues, is this quest so loved and hated? Well, here's the reason it's so loved. Bam. That cutscene is probably the most iconic scene in all of Fallout New Vegas. It's so fucking awesome. Okay, so the rocket scene is definitely influencing people's opinions, but the answer to why this quest is so polarizing is simple. Because of everything I've just talked about. This quest has amazing writing, but terrible gameplay. So if you think writing is more important than gameplay when evaluating whether a quest is good, then this quest is fucking awesome. If you think gameplay is more important, then this quest fucking sucks. I'm personally more biased towards gameplay, so I hate this quest, but other people might feel different. There's also a little bit of new player bias here, because a new player is going to be taking in the writing a lot more than someone who has played the quest 10 times. Now, where am I getting all this? Believe it or not, I am not pulling this out of my ass. In researching this video, I've come across a lot of conversations about this quest, and people who say they love it, bring up the writing. People who say they hate it, bring up the gameplay. And then there's this one guy who made a thread talking about how he loves it, but finds it very tedious to play, and then brings up everything I've been talking about so far, which is basically my opinion on the whole thing. But hey, that's just my theory of what's going on, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm not gonna, collect data on this or anything, because I'm not gonna go to people and be like, so do you like the quest Come Fly With Me? And why do you feel that way? Because that would be fucking dumb. So, you basically just have to take my word for it. Or, instead, you can go to the comments section and tell me how I'm dead wrong and that I'm a poopy head.
You're a poopy head. When we spell it out, you're a poopy head.
So that's the end of my rant about Come Fly With Me. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that bullshit. I'm the Logamuffin, and as always, I'll see you up ahead. Also, this has nothing to do with anything, but a couple days ago I went to see my favorite band, and if you're the first person to guess the band from the short clip, you win a cookie, and I'll pin your comment, maybe.